Hey guys, welcome back to Advanced Bass Fishing, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel for the episode today. We are going to have a conversation today about rattling lures versus non-rattling lures, when you want to use them, what's the situation, when do bass prefer one over the other, because at times they definitely prefer one over the other. So we're going to dig into that today's episode. I think it's definitely going to add up to some more good fish for you guys. Also, guys, before we get started, I want to clue you in on one bait that has been really good for me lately. It's brand new. This is called the Megabass Karashi Twitch Bait. Looks like a little bitty minnow here, guys. This is an excellent bait anytime that you're fishing like warmer, clear water where that water visibility is over 3 or 4 feet, especially early in the morning. It's a slow sinker, and you fish it fast just under the surface, and it's like a little minnow skittering across the surface. So I'll put the karashi link in my Tackle Warehouse link in this video description if you guys would like to order one. They got a couple different sizes on them, but they absolutely gobble it up, guys. I think it's a little minnow there. I think you guys will really like it. And also, guys, quick reminder, anybody interested in booking a private, personal, one-on-one, on-the-water lesson with me, just go to my Facebook page, Intuitive Angling with Randy Blaukat. Shoot me a private message for details on an on-the-water lesson, so really appreciate that. Okay guys, the rattles and non-rattles, they come in any hard bait. It's like you can get topwater lures that rattle, topwater lures that are silent, you can get jerk baits that are silent, jerk baits that rattle, and you can get crankbaits that rattle and crankbaits that are silent. So every lure category in terms of a hard bait usually has that option between a rattler and a non-rattler. So how do you choose between the two? Okay. First of all, it all has to do with a variety of conditions as far as how I choose it. In general, this is sort of a rule of thumb that you can go by that works pretty good, in my opinion. If you are fishing a body of water that doesn't get a ton of fishing pressure, it's not heavily fished, or if you're in a situation where the conditions are really conducive to the fish bite, like the cloudy, windy, warm type days, or if the water visibility is dirty. Those three situations there, a rattling type bait can usually be better, simply because they can feel it and they can they can feel it and they can hear it. If the water's dirty, the rattles help them locate the bait. If the fish are really aggressive, a lot of times that aggressive noise of a rattle is more appealing to the fish. And if you have a body of water that doesn't get a lot of fishing pressure, a lot of times the rattle is a positive. It'll actually, get the interest of the fish a lot more. Sometimes also a rattle is good for creating a reaction strike. If, say, for example, if the fish are a little bit lethargic and they're not really actively feeding, a lot of times you can make multiple casts with a rattling bait and get a reaction strike from that. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, when you're using a silent model, bait that has, the balancers or the beads fixed solid where it doesn't rattle any, this is a situation where it's the opposite. It's usually better on a heavily fished body of water. It's usually better in tough fishing conditions. Like, for example, if the water's clear, a non-rattling bait usually is more productive. A lot of times, if it's like the weekend or something like that, where there's a lot of noise decibels on the lake and people on jet skis and pontoons running around, where the fish are a little bit more finicky, a little bit, sometimes a silent bait will work better. And also, it's a good mop-up bait. So let's say, for example, you're catching fish on a topwater or a jerk bait or whatever on a rattling model, and then the fishing they start slowing down a little bit. Sometimes you can go to a silent model and keep catching them. Topwater lure is a little bit different. If you've got a situation where the water's choppy, say there's a little bit of chop or ripple on the water, the more ripple that you have on the water, the more you want to use a rattling topwater, because they can locate it better. It's like if you've got like a 6 or 8 inch chop on the water and you're fishing that topwater plug, say off a point in 5 or 10 foot of water, a lot of times the commotion of the surface requires a rattle to get their attention a little bit more, because they can't really see it in the rough, chop. But if you're fishing a situation where it's glass smooth, you're going to do a lot better on a silent bait like that. One thing that I have noticed also is with jerkbait fishing. If you're fishing a jerkbait on like a bright, sunny, calm day where the water is pretty clear, they always prefer a silent jerkbait over a noisy one. So it's really, there's a lot of similarities to it as far as the the conditions that dictate a silent or a rattling crankbait, and it's just really up to you to figure out what that is, because every scenario is different, and a lot of it is just experimentation. But overall, I tell you this, in my situation, guys, if you gave me, say, Randy, you can have one or the other. It's like you can either have a rattling bait or you can have a silent bait. I will choose the silent bait. I just think the silent bait is a little bit more natural presentation. I think overall you get a few more bites on it. But again, I have seen situations where they want a rattle, and the rattle makes a big difference with it. So you really got to have both in your box. So anyway, guys, that's my opinion on it. Also, guys, my Tackle Warehouse link is in the description of this video. If you guys are looking to get stocked up on whatever hard baits, jerk baits, crank baits, top waters, if you use that link in the description there, it's a good way to support advanced bass fishing. Big thank you from me and my family. We'll talk later.